name is Dr. Selassie. And everyone is, who's been affected has been mostly, I'm not saying everyone, sorry, mostly the ones that are affected are the ones that are over 60 and the ones who are immune compromised and or have high blood pressure or diabetes. I really want to stress hand washing. I think that, like, as a mother of 5, I've seen my children just push like soap or put soap on their hands and then stick it right in the water. But the important part about hand washing is really the scrubbing, between the fingers, the rubbing. Just like when you see a surgeon scrub up, they're using that sponge for a reason, because when you provide friction, you actually encirculate the viruses with, I don't even know if encirculate is a proper word, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the virus to be surrounded by soap, basically, because soap will just like wash that virus right down the drain, the little bugs. So I think soap is way more important, and making sure that the soap, you're scrubbing on your hands to get the viruses off, versus the hand sanitizer, which is just killing your good bacteria too. The hand sanitizer and the disinfectant wipes, though, yeah, I've got some somewhere in my house and in my clinic, but really it's the soap. So don't underestimate the power of the soap. Soap and scrubbing with the soap, not just squirting soap on your hand and sticking it under the sink. As I like to tell my children, you gotta give your children some instruction on the hand washing. And though they might not get coronavirus, they're the ones that might be spreading it all around because of their poor hand hygiene, and adults too. And though this coronavirus is a new coronavirus has been around for, just as long as the flu and the cold, at least I think. I'm hoping that I'm getting all my facts right before I get on IG Live, but it's just that this is a new strain that we haven't dealt with. And so a lot of the times people are asking me, what should I do, doc? Like, what should I take, Dr. Selassie, to help me fight against the coronavirus? Well, we don't, there's no real studies on what we know can fight against the coronavirus. It just doesn't exist. There's no research that's been done to fight against this COVID-19. But we do know that there are some things that help the body with handling viruses in general, like the common cold or the flu. So I've been telling people to do that. And what I posted yesterday was a beautiful little graphic done by Miss Cannabis Culture. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. I'm waving to all of you. I see you. I want to tell people that there has been some research on things that help. Like, for example, zinc is a really good one, because there's been some studies. In 2016, they did a huge meta-analysis on zinc, and zinc is really amazing for helping to shorten the severity and the duration of the common cold. So, being that this is a virus, we can say, or we can deduce that maybe zinc would help with this, right? So you want to do right by zinc. Like, you don't just want to be popping zinc. You want to get zinc citrate or zinc gluconate or zinc picolinate. You don't want any zinc oxide. And it's really best if you can get it as a lozenge, because if you use zinc as a lozenge, it'll coat your mucous membranes on the inside of your mouth. So if it's a chewable zinc, you don't really even want to chew it and swallow. You want to suck on it. And I think that's the best way to use zinc. Where zinc becomes a problem is if you take high amounts of zinc over a couple weeks. So if you're doing like 80 milligrams or more of zinc over the course of 2 weeks, at some point you're going to stop. It's going to mess up your ratio of absorption of copper, which is really important. So there at that level, if you're doing 80 milligrams a day of zinc, you might have a problem. But studies show that for children, even doing 10 or 15 milligrams of zinc every single day for 7 months is very, very safe. So what do I suggest? I suggest a nice medium range of zinc, about 30 milligrams, and you can get 30 milligrams of zinc in either two or three lozenges in divided doses. So a lozenge, maybe morning, noon, or night, and you suck on it versus chewing it and swallowing it. And again, it's better if it's zinc gluconate or zinc citrate or zinc picolinate, but not zinc oxide. And then you want to double the dose to like 60 milligrams if you feel like you're getting sick. Okay. And then you want to stop. You want to stop over a couple weeks. You don't want to be on zinc at that high dose over a long term. And like I said, if you were on zinc at 80 milligrams after about 2 weeks, then you could have a problem. So zinc is one that we know, because again, everybody's acting like they're an expert on this virus. And the truth is, like, there's really a lot we don't know, but we do know that our bodies respond to viruses. And like, we do know that zinc can cut the duration and the severity. And that's the thing with the coronavirus. Only about, out of 100 people, it's 20%. Out of 100 people that get the coronavirus, it's really most severe in about 20 of those people. Okay, so we just want to, if you're going to get the coronavirus, you might as well get it and just have it be like a cough for a few days. And which brings me to the mask. That's really only when it's beneficial to wear the mask is if you have coronavirus, because it kind of contains everything. It contains those droplets full of virus in your mouth. But if you don't have the mask, it's not really protecting you from the virus. In fact, you might actually be touching your face more if you wear the mask. So we think we really should save the masks for some of the people that have to have direct contact with, like the people in our emergency services teams and in the hospitals, because the masks, just like the toilet paper, what I was mentioning earlier, like they're nowhere to be found because they've really stopped production and shipping and stuff. So you've got to like preserve the masks for people who really need them, either people with the coronavirus or people that are in direct contact with people that are dealing with the coronavirus, like in a hospital. Not if you're just going to work. It's not really going to help. It's not going to help prevent you from getting it. In fact, I think that people touching and dealing with the mask is actually bringing more contact of their fingers to their face. Some other immune supplements that I really like for people are probiotics and taken daily. Vitamin D at the level of 5,000 international units a day. You want to keep it in your bloodstream going. If you're a child, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 international units a day, but I'm talking about who's really at risk are our 60-year-olds and older, and you want to make sure you're doing about 5,000 international units of D a day. You want to take it with a meal because fat helps you absorb it. And then you want to do some vitamin C. And I say the more the better. If you are just doing it for prevention, I would try to go for about 2,000 or 3,000 grams. But at the moment that you feel something coming on, you really want to up the dose. 4 grams, 5 grams, 6 grams. It will cause loose stools if you have enough of it in your intestine at the same time. So if you divide it up into divided doses, like instead you maybe take 500 milligrams every couple hours, and you should be fine in that area. And like I said, like we don't really have any treatments. And most of the time, if you have, not most of the time, but if you do get the coronavirus and you're sick enough where you have to go to a hospital, they're really just going to be doing supportive measures, like making sure you're hydrated, making sure that you are getting oxygen. They'll probably intubate you, put a tube in your throat. This sounds really scary, but that's what they'll do. And they'll probably support your kidneys from kidney failure. So you just want to make sure that you don't get there, because that's what they have. They have those supportive measures, but you can support yourself right now. Like staying hydrated is really key. If you're hydrated and your cells are plump and strong and immune cells can swim around in your system, then that's going to be really important for helping you to keep healthy during this time. And another thing is cut out the sugar. So cut out the sugar and cut out those potato chips, cut out the junk food, all of those things, the sugar. And I say potato chips because fried white potatoes with a terrible oil is about the same as sugar, is going to really weaken your immune system. Don't get me wrong. I'm a naturopath, so I try to do the best I can, but I love my French fries, but I am not eating French fries right now. I am eating kale and vegetables and greens and tons of of vegetables and different colors on my plate, and lots of good solid protein, beans, lentils, and if you eat a variety of foods, if you're not a vegetarian or a vegan, go for it. Meat, get some good healthy lower fat meat. Eggs, if you don't have a food intolerance to eggs. All of these are really important for preserving your immune system. Okay, someone's asking me a question. Worried because she has lupus and a newborn who's just 3 days old. Oh, congratulations. Okay, so I definitely recommend hand washing. Don't let any just stay at home. Don't let any visitors come. You are mama and you're in charge, and I know everybody wants to see your baby, but just say, you're not going to let anyone see the baby. In some African traditions, you don't let anyone see your baby till your baby is 9 days old. And like I said, the newborn isn't really at risk, but any newborn, the children have not really suffered during this pandemic, but a newborn is really fragile. So just stay at home, make sure you're resting, and everything I said about sugar is really, really important. And the other thing that I wanted to say is stress. Stress is a big one. So you definitely want to make sure you're not stressing out. You definitely want to take naps, and that goes for the new mom. Someone with lupus, you're immune compromised and you have a new baby. And I know how it is. Like, I have had 5 newborns in my life, and I get so excited with that new baby around, but I still want to live my life. So when the baby's asleep, I think silly things, and I don't know why, but my silly thought is, I can wash the dishes and I can make up for the work that I haven't been doing. And that is absolutely wrong thinking. I have burned myself more than once doing that. So if you are a new mama with lupus and a newborn who's 3 days old, then you need to sleep when the baby sleeps. Okay. So, and then that's a good lesson for all of us. All of us need to go to bed early. All of us are suffering from little sleep. If you can go to bed early, you increase your immune system, multiple times. So get your sleep, cut out the sugar. We really want to make sure that you're watching your stress. Okay, so did you get that? Get your sleep, cut out the sugar, manage your stress. If you're the lupus mama with the newborn, stay at home as much as you can. I think there's something to say about that. I am not being so careful. I am still going about, but I'm requiring patients who enter into my office to wash their hands in case I have immune compromised people. And you can rewind this and watch what I said about the hand washing. That's huge. And I think people just kind of blow it off, but and I don't just mean soap on your hands and rinse off. You really want to scrub just like a surgeon. That's really what gets the viruses off. I'm waving to all of you, and I see all of you on. Thank you. And then the supplements that I recommended are zinc, and I talked a little bit about dosing, so you might want to rewind this and rewatch. And then a probiotic, a vitamin D, and lots of vitamin C. So I already talked about doses, about all that, and I don't want to repeat myself for the third time. But again, we do know that these things can help strengthen our immune system. And then the one last thing that I'd really like to say that I think is really important is this kind of fear thing that's happening. I think a lot of people are really dealing with are adding to the confusion with the fear component. And the truth is if you remember SARS and if you remember MERS, they were way more dangerous because it's just that this particular virus, instead of 1 to 1, it seems to be spreading 1 to 3. So it seems like everybody's getting it, and it just seems a lot more scarier, but the death rate or the chances of death from SARS or MERS were about 20% higher than it is from this coronavirus. So just want to put this all out there. This is what I know, and I'm not claiming, I'm trying to be very, very careful about what I say. I'm only talking about supplements that we know strengthen our immune system. I'm not saying they cure coronavirus or they treat coronavirus, because we really just don't know. But I do know things that you can do for strengthening your immune system. So that's what this is about. This is about strengthening your immune system with those 4 supplements, making sure you watch the sugar and you watch the stress and you get extra sleep and you stay hydrated. That's the important thing. And then I gave the little bit about the hand washing. Okay, so I hope this was helpful because, and just try not to jump into the fear, because I think then we're creating this sort of collective consciousness of fear-induced sickness. And I think that we really have a lot that we can do with creating health for our minds. And in our minds, remember, I'm a naturopath, so the body and the mind, they're both connected. And I think you all know this, and that's why you're interested in hearing what I have to say, because me as a naturopath, and you all know this too, that if you shift your mindset towards health, you're going to get more health. If you shift your mindset towards fear, you're going to get more sickness. So let's just keep our joy and just stay happy and just try to take these precautions that we know to do.